Sound Words. Christian Magazine. Volumes 31-40. Republished by Irving Risch, host of Down to Earth but Heavenly Minded podcast. Thoughts on the offerings. The law of the sin offering and of the trespass offering. Leviticus chapter 6 verses 24-30, Leviticus chapter 7 verses 1-10. It is solemn to reflect that no matter what relationship God has been pleased to establish with men, holiness can never be dispensed with. We have this emphasized in the Song of Moses, who is like unto thee, Jehovah, among the gods? Who is like unto thee, glorifying thyself in holiness, fearful in praises, doing wonders? Thou by thy mercy hast led forth the people, thou hast redeemed, thou hast guided them by thy strength unto the abode of thy holiness. Exodus chapter 15 verses 11-13. We would do well to consider that these are the choice and elevated expressions of a people who stood only in a place of external relationship to God, who move still in the twilight of types and shadows. For God was but partially revealed, yet holiness was essential in all their dealings with a God who is of holier eyes than to behold iniquity. To us therefore, who stand in an immeasurably nearer and more intimate relationship to God, these wonderful expressions are pregnant with divine meaning and instruction. How forcibly the truth of this is brought home to us in Peter's first epistle. But as he who has called you is holy, be ye also holy in all your conversation, because it is written, be ye holy, for I am holy. 1 Peter chapter 1 verses 15-16. As another has said, the word used here in relation to God speaks of him as holy, knowing good and evil perfectly, and absolutely willing good and no evil. When applied to men, it designates them as separated, set apart to God from evil and from common use. These brief remarks will serve as a fitting preface in our consideration of the law of the sin offering. In no other offering is holiness so insisted upon as in this. 4 times within the narrow compass of a few verses the Spirit of God states of the sin and trespass offerings, there is one law for them, it is most holy. Let not the simplicity of this phrase take away from its deep, searching significance and solemn import. How easy it is for us, when our loins are not sufficiently braced with the girdle of truth, to be carelessly tolerant of that which ought to be unsparingly judged and confessed before God. Let us be watchful, lest we are snared by the sentimental philosophies and moralizings of men who declare that to err is human, to forgive divine, with little or no thought of how abhorrent our erring is in the sight of God, and are entirely ignorant of the holiness without which no man shall see the Lord. There are men of the world who naturally favor the beautiful and more attractive things of life, recoiling with marked distaste from what is gross and offensive, but this is not holiness. Their abhorrence has no reference to God whatever, and all sin is against God. In deep penitence the psalmist confessed, against thee, thee only have I sinned, and done what is evil in thy sight, that thou mayest be justified when thou speakest, be clear when thou judgest. The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and a contrite heart. O God, thou wilt not despise. Psalm chapter 51 verses 4-17. Of precious significance are the words, at the place where the burnt offering is slaughtered shall the sin offering be slaughtered before Jehovah. The sin offering is necessary where there has been the allowance of that which has been condemned in the cross of the Lord Jesus Christ. Sin in whatever aspect or measure. We are to take up this solemn matter according to the mind of God, in the sense of the deep perfections and excellence of that there is no breaking. But there is the intense application of the word in its searching and discriminating power, as suggested by the scouring. There is also the rinsing, suggesting the sanctifying and purifying virtue, so that moral suitability might be maintained. Regarding the trespass offering we read, as the sin offering, so is the trespass offering, there shall be one law for them. The priests who made atonement with the sin or trespass offering received the offering for his service, suggesting the gain for our souls in taking up this priestly exercise. The priest who presented any man's burnt offering received its skin, so that he might be shod and adorned with the beauty of the offering that gave such pleasure to Jehovah. The offering priest also received all the meat offering that is baken in the oven, and all that is dressed in the frying pan. And in the pan, there is always great personal gain in having to do with the things of God. How profound is the enrichment of soul in ministering to the pleasure of God of that which savors peculiarly of Christ. The one so engaged feeds with unspeakable delight upon that blessed one as the food of his soul, nourished inwardly as he finds in him the all-absorbing object for his heart.